Okay, guys. So I'm really excited on this week's team call. We have a guest, and I'm going to let her kind of explain or maybe tell you why she's our guest this week. But our guest is Chelsea Donley. Am I saying that right? Or is it Donley or Donley? You'll have to correct me. I think I probably pronounce it different every time, just like everybody does Knits. But I'm going to let her tell you why she's going to share. But she's going to tell us a little bit about her story and just like how she came to Plexus. And she's going to tell us about the last couple of weeks in her Plexus journey. So, girl, you take it away. I'm so excited to hear this.
All right, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. It's Chelsea Donley. Yeah, it's thoroughly confusing because I mispronounced it a ton of times before I first got married. So I clarified it at the wedding. I'm Chelsea Donley, and I'm a stay-at-home mama of 3. I got my MBA a month after my first was born, and she is 6 years old now. And my undergraduate before that was social work, so I worked for the state of Kansas for about 4.5 years prior to that. I started Plexus in February of last year, basically because my youngest had reflux, and I had breastfed all of my kids, and she was the first one that was spitting up constantly. She lost weight when we left the hospital, and she just like wasn't gaining at all. I had went to the chiropractor, which helped for maybe at a time, but I just felt like with 3 kids that wasn't feasible to continue going back for chiropractic care each time. And then I had met with 3 different lactation consultants. One of them had told me that she had a tongue and a lip tie and that it would need to be lasered. And this is when she was 5 months old. So I was skeptical and against laser surgery at that time. I thought that maybe since she was so young that it would be something that would be able to be worked out through development and growth and things like that. So Comas had actually approached me about trying BioCleanse and ProBio 5. And so I started with just those 2, and within, I don't know, a week, the reflux was like a complete turnaround. And then she knew I was having luck with that, so she offered me a couple of samples of Slim. I noticed that it gave me more energy, and I signed on as an ambassador the next month just because of taking those 2 products, and then her giving me the samples of Slim. So I started as an ambassador in March. I did not pursue approaching anyone. I believe it was till the month of May because I had a stepsister that passed away from colon cancer, and I felt that I would be like disrespectful, or people would be thinking bad about me, or just judgment, I guess, for posting about that right around her death. So I actually waited until May to make any posts or talk to anybody about it. I would drink a pop about every other day. That's about as far as I could stretch it. And then I noticed that when I started drinking the Slim that I rarely drank pop. I can drink pop every once in a while, but I can only have a couple of sips before I think it's just too much. And I noticed that I have more energy. I don't have to take naps on the days that I take Slim. If I forget, then I can tell that I'm a little bit crankier and that I need a nap. Also, embarrassingly, I felt like I passed a lot of gas. That's probably, gosh, this is being recorded, but it's the truth. Like, I felt like I just passed gas way too much, and that actually helped me so much, thankfully, because that was embarrassing. And my husband would always call me out on it, and I would always tell him, be quiet, no one will notice. But he'd always announce it to everybody in the room. And then just along with that, like everything else that you guys know about, like constipation and cravings and sleep, my mood and my energy, all of that got better. Let's see, I am still a silver ambassador. I honestly, up before this incentive, I had 9 ambassadors underneath me. I've had a couple more, but I've had, I think 4 cancel when their 1-year membership was up. And I'll be honest, like all the ambassadors underneath me only do it for the savings. None of them sell. Um, and then I have one semi-regular customer, which is kind of an awkward relationship because he loves the products, but he only contacts me through email. So like I've never met him. A mutual friend introduced him to me, and he takes it and usually orders at least every other month, but I have never met him and I wouldn't know him if I saw him, unfortunately. So it kind of brought me to this summer. At the beginning of the incentive, I had actually called my upline Comas and I told her, hey, I think I want to get on this cruise. What do I need to do to make it happen? And she was like, hey, that's great. It's 900 points. And I was like, oh, I thought it was 350. And so I was kind of fearful of that number. And I just didn't pursue it a ton after she told me that. I was scared and I let obstacles get in the way. Obstacles became excuses. I was in an 11-week summer Bible challenge. I was in a book club. I was a Sunday school teacher over the summer. I just volunteered and went through an application process to be on the Northwest Kansas team of Operation Christmas Child. And then on my 35th birthday on July 14th, my mom actually overdosed on some of her medication. She has been in and out of Larned and Garden City for mental health instability. And it's not something that I put a whole lot on Facebook because I have a brother that doesn't even think that I should be like asking people for prayers about it. So we kind of have differing views on it. And I just kind of feel like maybe it's her story to tell. So I kind of leave that out of social media. But it did happen. And I still didn't pursue it a whole lot. And because my priorities kind of changed when that happened. And I was just worried about her well-being. So August came around. I don't know if it's getting back into the routine of school and kids being out of the house or what it was, but something changed in my brain. And this isn't something that just happened like over the week. Like I've been working on myself over the past year. When I first started Plexus, I would be upset or angry if someone told me no. I would like about why they told me no, if it was me or why they didn't trust me with these products. I've even told Comas that I was a little jealous that like people, like she had so many people underneath her that would take it and like that they would trust her with it. And then I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So I just like had a lot of self-doubt and questioning. So like I said, I've been a work in progress, but slowly I have noticed things change. And last week I was just kind of more gung-ho about getting this finished. I have no idea why my mindset changed because as of August 19th, I only had 95 points. And that was through signing up 2 new ambassadors, one of which was my mother-in-law, who had previously taken Slim, but she wasn't 100% convinced that her A1C had dropped 10 points because of only taking the Slim. She said that it might have been her diet. So I never pushed it with her. But I told her I was reaching for a huge goal and she said, what do I need to do? So I signed her up and then I signed up my kid's swim instructor. And then I had some personal product purchases. So as of that, late last week, I had only 95 points.
Okay,
then
Chelsea.
I watched, yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna read this to them just because this was our conversation on August 14th. And she says, I saw your post. I want to know if anybody was shooting. Like, this makes me laugh just because. So I saw your post. When I first saw the Legacy Convention post, I was excited thinking I could go. Then I got gun shy because I saw the points were 900 instead of 350 like I was originally thinking. I'm probably too late to set sail now. Looks like my credits are only at 95 currently. But if there's any way that I could still go, I'm willing to give it all I've got. And then she had, so this was August 14th, like just a few days ago, like actually 14 days ago today. So, yeah. Okay, go on. I just had
to. And it was, I had reached out to you because you and Aaron, I think, had posted that if anybody wanted to try that you would let them know what they needed to get their points. So,
Well, and what I sent you back is a lofty goal. I said, okay, here's the breakdown. 2,500 PV will get you 300 credits. 1,000 can be your own. 15 preferred customer triplex will get you 300 credits. 3 level 1 ambassadors. Like that's a huge goal, but anything is possible. I mean, when I typed that, I was thinking, there's no way anybody can do that because that's crazy, right? Okay, I'm done
yeah.
talking. I won't interrupt you.
And that was a, I either misunderstood that or you were drunk when you said that, because I needed about double that. I'll get to that in just a second. But I watched the video on Roz's her page of Brenda Sanders, and she was the one that said that she was basically a team of one and that she had to change her mindset and that she had to like kind of pursue it on her own. So I don't know, something like from her video spoke to me. It's just like, okay, let's see what I can do. And Brooke, and when she told me that I needed 15 customers, 3 ambassadors, and 2,500 PV, I was thinking, okay, that's doable, and I'm going to have to pay for $1,000 worth of product. So I guess that's what I'm going to be doing. And I thought it was hard, but I thought it was doable. Well, then I got about to 14 customers, and I was like, I still have a ton of points to, are these points that she's talking about coming from? And so I texted Comas, and Comas says, you need 15 more. Good job. Keep it up. And I was like, wait a minute here. I thought I was almost done, and now I have to do double what I already did. I was like, there's no way. So I actually had went out with some friends that night because it was one of them's their birthday. And after I had vented about, I'm never going to make this, I don't know what to do, I should probably just give up. Then after I vented, I felt better again, and I went for it the next day. So let's see. Even along the way, I did have, I'll let you know of a little mistake that I made that I didn't realize until I saw the quarterly, what is it called? The
Scoop.
magazine. Yes, the Scoop.
Yeah.
And so it had like the little guidelines of what, basically like the fine print. Well, it said that you can't have an ambassador's credit card tied to your customers' accounts, which I had 3 friends that paid me in cash or through PayPal because they were on vacation. Another one, husband doesn't like random credit card purchases on there, so she has to use her babysitting money. And then, so I had actually had 3 friends that paid me, and then I used my credit card, and I was like, oh no, I have worked really, really hard. And so what am I going to have to do in order to do this? So I actually got an additional points to cover those, just in case Plexus were to say, we're not sure if we were going to count those points. So I learned my lesson, read the fine print, because when I thought I was doing them a favor, I was actually like harming myself. So let's see. I put little notes so I wouldn't forget anything. I offered an incentive. Most of my incentives was $10 cash back on an order of 100 or more, $20 if you did the triplex and the Joyome. I estimated it. My husband, I just told him, I was like, I'm going to be writing checks from our account, and he's like, how much are we paying for this cruise? And I was like, actually, nothing yet. I haven't had to order any of our products because I haven't had to come up with the 1,000 PV because of all these customers I've had over this last week. So I said, you know, I'm going to be having money come out of the account, but I will get my commission next month because I have quite a bit of PV. So he told me, because he saw me kind of stressed out about it, and he said, I know another way you can get a free cruise. And I was like, how is that? And he just started laughing. I was like, what, you're going to pay for it? And he was like, yeah. He was like, that just sounds easier to me. And I was like, no, we're not going to do that. I've worked my butt off for this, and my head's stuck to this. So I was like, until they tell me that it's August 31st or there's no more room, like I'm going to keep going for it. So kept going, and I don't really know if it was just everything lining up for me this month or what. I went way outside my comfort zone. I contacted people that have told me no in the past. I've been able to let it go if they've told me no. I've just said, hey, no problem. Thanks for even thinking about ordering from me. Um, Sometimes if they wouldn't answer, I would just message them again and ask them if I could answer any questions, or, give them a compliment about, a picture that I saw or something. It didn't even have to be Plexus related, just to kind of keep those lines open. And then I did reach out to a ton of people through cold messaging, which I haven't actively done in the past. But I also feel like it was because I've been like kind of cultivating those relationships over the last year. Like, I haven't really pushed Plexus on some of these people. I've just kind of let our relationship grow. And some of these people have dealt with like mental health issues. So I have reached out to them and talked to them, even though I haven't put it on my personal page about what's been happening with my mom. And then I just tried to be more intentional with people and interact more. I reached out on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, email. I even called. I remember I was a nervous wreck when I called my stepmom and asked her if she'd try Joyome. And she said, you know what, Chelsea, you've been taking this for a year, and I know that you really love it, and you haven't hassled us about it. And so she's like, what can I do to help? She's like, I'll buy it this month. And I was like, thank you. Like, I was like, you won't, I was like, you don't have to buy me a Christmas present if you don't want to, but I was like, you're going to be pleasantly surprised with this. And I told her, I said, honestly, it says to use 3 pumps. I said, I use 1 to 1.5 pumps, and it covers my whole face and my neck. And it's like, I'm on like my 4th month of my Joyome bottles. So, I just kind of reached out, depending on the person. I, reached out about Triplex or Joyome, or I started with Joyome. And if they said I have a skincare regimen that I like, then I would, hey, we have other products as well. I'm not going to lie. I was stressed and anxious, and I haven't had Vital Biome in a while. So I did order some. Like, I had a friend that didn't want to complete a $75 order. So I was like, hey, throw in a bottle of Vital Biome and I will pay for it. Which I kind of wish I would have had it last week, because like I had a stress pimple. I was so anxious that like my nerves were all over the place. And I took a pregnancy test on Sunday because I was it's negative, but I was pretty sure I was pregnant just because I was all over the place. But as of right now, like I said, I was at 95 points on what, that was the 19th, I think I said. And I am at 975 credits now, and a little over 3,200 PB. So
crazy. Okay, guys. So in 14 days, actually less, we talked in 14 days, but she didn't start for 5 days later till the 19th. She was still at 95 credits. So holy smokes. Okay. So you cold messaged for the first time pretty much ever this month, right? And that's the thing that I think when people start their business, like, they don't want to do that. People reach out to them. And then if that's all well and good and your business grows, and then it stops growing and people don't want to do their part, they don't want to reach out. So what do you think was the biggest, I don't know, what made you okay with cold messaging? Or were you okay? Were you comfortable? Like, I think that's a misnomer, because it's never really comfortable.
Right. I think one thing that helped me a lot was just I've been working on myself over the last year, and I had to work on it, like on the fact that like it's not just like, when people say no, it's not about me. And like, I've just been working on relationships and trying to grow them outside of Plexus, so that way when I did approach them about Plexus, that they felt comfortable with me and knew that I wasn't just trying to get their business. So I think that was one thing, was just working on my relationships and working on myself. And then another thing was just like, I approached it like, hey, I have this huge goal. I normally don't do this, but is there any way that you would like to try Plexus? I know we've talked about it before, or I know that you've liked my posts, or something along those lines. And I just said, I'm reaching for this huge goal. I'm not even sure if I'm going to get it, but if you would like to order from me, please let me know if you're interested at all, and we can work up a deal. And I honestly was freaking out, because I wasn't sure if my $20 incentives was going to even like help me through it. And my husband is still skeptical, like until he sees himself on the boat, he's still going to be thinking, this isn't happening. So
Well, and the cool thing about your incentive is you sign them up as preferred customers. So your bonus, if they're like triplex, you have a $20 bonus coming. So you're not really losing money and you're still making commission. And last time I checked on 3,200 PV, you make 25%. So you're going to come out pretty good. And you got products in the hands of a lot of people that
Right.
wouldn't have had that. And so that's
Yeah.
huge.
I had one preferred customer, or yeah, one preferred customer that was ordering regularly before this. So other than that was like sporadic customers. So
So
I was also hoping through this that like I actually have some people that are interested in the product and that continue to see that it actually works, and that I would get some customers or ambassadors out of it.
absolutely, and that's what we talked about. I messaged her, and when I messaged her this like lofty goal, I'll have to look and see what you replied back. Because I mean, really, there's no downside to pushing. There's never a downside to pushing because we're doing, we're pushing for a goal, but we're getting rewarded for what we should be doing anyway, right? Like I work Plexus all the time without earning a cruise, or I work Plexus all the time without earning Hawaii. I want to help people feel better every single day. That's just icing on the cake. You said thank you at the very least. I can say I gave it my best shot and I can make a little extra money. That's it. Like you're going to earn a bigger paycheck, help more people, and you're going to have push for a goal. And there's no downside to that. I don't know if Angie's at a place that she can unmute herself and share, and she may not want to, but she told a really good story last night about wanting to help a friend. So Angie, if you're at a place you can tell that story, I'd rather it come from you because you'll get it right. But how we sometimes feel bad by saying, you know, hey, I'm pushing for a big goal. And I'm like, I have a bracelet. It's probably sitting, I thought it was sitting here on my desk somewhere. I love it. It's pretty. I probably would have never bought it, but somebody reached out to me like in the 11th hour. Literally, it was like 11 o'clock at night. And she's like, I have a goal and I can win this trip to the Dominican Republic. And like, is there anything that you might want? And I was like, well, actually, yeah, I've been wanting to order something. I just don't know what. And she's like, okay. And every time I look at that bracelet, I know I helped get her and her husband on an island vacation, like of their dreams. It's the coolest thing ever. Like, I could have lived without it, but I wanted to buy it because people love supporting a good cause. Okay, Angie, do you want to tell yours? I love it.
I can, yeah. This was this June, and it was a friend of mine from high school, and she actually has a makeup business, and I'm super crunchy, so I don't use anything with chemicals. So I could not use her products, but I reached out to her just because she had posted that she was like 10 customers away from earning an incentive trip with her company. And I just reached out to her and I was like, man, if I could use your stuff, I would be all over it. Like I seriously wanted to order her makeup, even though I couldn't use it, just because I wanted to help her business out. And it had nothing to do, like, had she reached out to me, I would not have felt like she was like trying to me, or like I was just another number to her. Like, I think the intrinsic rewards for like helping someone achieve their goal can be like a gift. And so I think allowing your friends and your family members to give you that gift of supporting your business and helping you reach your goals is just really huge.
I was just going to add something really quick. I think that it sometimes gives people a reason to do Plexus and then they feel better. Maybe they wanted to. I had like 3 people that I know do other things, but were always curious when asked me, how much is a probiotic, or how much is it, to never do anything, but they sell other stuff. That became my customers. But I think it was because they wanted to try it, but now they got a reason to because they're helping me out too. So it's always nice for some people too that joined me in my destination to the cruise.
I totally agree with that. And I love, so if you guys hopped on later, just to recap. So Chelsea was at 95 credits on August 19th, and she's at 975 and has earned the cruise. And her PV, what was your PV before you started with your one preferred customer? Her PV right now is over 3,200, 3,209. I happened to look it up while we're on this call because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I hadn't even placed an order. Like I think
well, you had 0 PV.
Yeah, I had my husband order the triplex through, so I got like 5 of my points for like my silver ambassador, but like nothing towards the cruise and nothing towards like my own personal.
Yeah. So yeah, that's incredible. Like crazy. But the other thing too, I love that halfway through, or not even halfway through, I remember you messaged me. I could look at the date on that too. And you weren't mad. You said, oh my gosh, I just read these FAQs. And I mean, you weren't mad. So you said, who you actually, no, you were going to throw up that day. I'm loving these messages. I think I'm going to throw up. So you were saying you had purchased cash from your friends so they wouldn't get in trouble, which, I mean, you were trying to help them out. So it was Thursday, like not even a week ago. You said, I have 3 friends that had me create accounts and they PayPal'd me. But now I'm scared because I would be disqualified. So I'm going to tell you right now that a lot of people in your situation would have given up right then. They would have thrown in the towel. They would have blamed Plexus because something wasn't going their way, and they would have quit. And that's not what you did. You had grit and determination and I don't know, some crazy tenacity. Like you were not quitting. But I really think that people, we want to blame a lot of things, and all it is another excuse, right? But it's the rule that was there. That was the rule all along that we sometimes don't look at. But then we're mad when it applies to us. And you were really doing a good thing. I mean, you were doing the right thing. You were doing the right thing for your friends. It just obviously was against that. And I've never seen that in a contest period until now. I think it's right. It's probably a good rule. It keeps us honest. But so come on.
You know what I really love? I really love the fact that I was more excited when she told me she was getting on the boat than when I was getting on the boat. I know I said it before, but it doesn't matter how much PV I have or how many were. It was not fun. It got to the point that next year where it was not fun, and it's fun right now with you and seeing you do what you did, because it's amazing. And I know we've done it within this group before where people had rank ups and we helped them push and there for support. But when you see them actually hit that, that's because they laid it all out there. And I'm just so proud of you for doing that. I mean, we know we're helping people because we have great products, but you actually were able to experience something different and to know what you have in you and that people are watching, that people care. So I think that's awesome. I'm so proud of you.
You have a lot to be proud of. Oh my gosh. And I know we have a lot of people on here still pushing for some big goals and maybe some bigger goals in these contests. And I think that here's what I always get out of this, and you're going to feel really convicted too. I think probably we all are. I'm just like, holy cow, this is actually what I'm capable of every day. I'm actually capable of this production every single day. Maybe I want to sleep a little bit more, but I mean, when you accomplish big goals like that, you're like, what if I did that every single month, day in, day out? No joke, everybody on this call would be a jewel because we all have it in us. It's just doing it every single day, even on the days we don't want to, right? Posting and, like you said, being intentional and just laying it all out there and not caring if people said no and reaching out anyway and just putting one foot in front of the other and wash, rinse, repeat. Just go, go, go. That's all it takes. So literally that work 12 months from now is Emerald. That's exactly what that is. That's what Emerald looks like. That same work 12 months from now, which is crazy. So anybody else have anything to add? Chelsea, thank you so much for sharing your story. I wanted to hear, I knew most of it, but I wanted to hear it from you. I'm just so thrilled for you. When I was talking to Kamas today, I told her, I'm crying and I have goosebumps right now. This is ridiculous. So it's awesome. Totally awesome. Anybody have any pointers, advice, something you've learned along the way? Because
I just wanted to say something to everybody on there now that's not on the boat yet, because I know what it's like to be so close and keep reaching out and then doubt yourself. I mean, you know how we go through those ups and downs as you're trying to hit a goal, but it's so doable. And hopefully you guys can just take from some of Chelsea's energy. She was non-stop. She was on a mission. I remember the text I got that was I think I need to take a pregnancy test. But I was like, yes, this is how it feels. This is how it feels. You're going to reach your goals. I'm just really proud of her. But you guys can all do it. But we all kind of have to draw on each other's energy when things are going really good for someone and take their advice and just do it. So just do it. Do it scared.
I agree 100%. Okay, guys. Chelsea, you got anything else for us?
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, totally.
I've had this I've had this thought like for the last year, and I'm still trying to perfect it. And if anybody has any input, go for it. But like, cause I'm trying not to offend anybody, but I was trying to think, over the past year, how like Plexus is kind of like the Bible. And I don't want to put it like that because I know I will offend people, but Plexus is a tool that sometimes we're afraid to share, just like the Bible is a tool that sometimes we're afraid to share. And so if you don't use that tool and if you don't share it with anyone, then no one's going to get any benefit out of it. So that's like my encompass right now of like what I think about it. But like, I'm still trying to perfect how to how to say that without offending people.
I totally get what you're saying. I think it makes sense. I mean, you're not like downgrading the Bible by saying it's like that, but I also think we offer hope and community and love. And I liken a lot of that to the same thing that I feel in my spiritual life. I mean, I think this community is not by accident. And I think we all are pretty well centered and share that in our journeys too. And I don't think that's by accident. So I think we're all here for a reason, and it's just amazing. So, I mean, you're exactly right though, because we worry about being judged, right? So we don't share our faith, and we know it could save somebody and help somebody. And same thing, we worry about sharing Plexus because we're going to be judged, and we know it could save somebody or help somebody. Like, we know we have a lot to offer. So I think you're right. There's a lot of similarities. I've often said I've always said like second to loving Jesus, marrying Dustin, and having kids, like Plexus is by far the smartest thing I've ever done. I mean, literally, because it just is. So I totally get that. I don't find that offensive at all. If somebody else does, they just need Plexus. They're too dang uptight if they can't hear your heart through that. Okay, anybody have anything else? Because that's pretty good to end on. Your story is incredible. It's crazy. I cannot wait to see pictures and like all the stuff that's going to happen on that boat. Okay, guys. Well, unless Chelsea has any parting words of wisdom for us, we'll get out of here and call it a night. But thank you so much for taking time to share with us and share your story, so our team get to know you a little bit more. And I love that she said, I'm still silver. Like, it doesn't matter. You can be any rank and do this, because you're not going to be silver for long if you're working at that pace. It's just not going to happen. So you're awesome, girl. I'm inspired. Totally inspired. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us all. I don't know if I can do this, if I figure out how to unmute everybody. I'll unmute y'all so you can all say thanks and bye. Okay, you're all unmuted. Maybe. It says unmute all.
Thank you.
There we go. Thanks, Chelsea. I'm coming by tomorrow because today got out of hand.
Thank you.
Okay, bye, guys.
Night.
Bye, guys.